السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين وبعد. Alhamdulillah, so today is our third day where we're going to cover something about the fast. And Sundays are usually for a little bit about reflection. And the topic for today, if you look in the book, I keep saying the book as if you guys read it every day, but I know we made the book, inshallah. So look, make sure you look at it at least once a day or once a week, inshallah. But it's how fasting changes me. How fasting changes me. And we're tying this in to a service project that is coming up on Saturday. So on the 15th, we have 2 service projects that are coming up. And we need volunteers for both of those service projects, and we need you to contribute for both of these service projects. But how does fasting change you? One of the things that is the intent of the fast is so you understand a little bit what it means to be hungry, what it means to be thirsty, what it means to be deprived. Because when you're hungry and thirsty, one of the things you also experience with your body physically is that you don't have the same amount of physical energy as you normally would. If you're feeding your body proper nutrition and you're eating more than once a day and having water, so on and so forth, you'll have more energy. So in Ramadan, you might feel a little bit more tired, more frustrated, more sleepy, because your body is not getting the nutrition that it's used to getting. But feeling that way is a part of Ramadan. Feeling that way is an intentional act that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to experience. And it's no wonder that at the end of the month of Ramadan, before Salatul Eid, we're supposed to give what? The Zakatul Fitr, or Sadaqatul Fitr, right? We're supposed to give food for those that are poor and are not going to be able to afford to feed themselves on the day of Eid. Because on the day of Eid, fasting is prohibited. You are commanded that you must celebrate this day, you eat, you drink, you enjoy this day. And everyone is supposed to do the same. And so the people that are poor, they have to have food on that day. They have to have food on that day. And so you understand what it feels like a little bit to be hungry and thirsty, so you have some compassion for people when they are going through difficult times. One of the service projects we have coming up is a community-wide Ramadan drive. We're partnering with a few other masajid to get some items that are donated. Now on the list will be on that front wall. There will be boxes on the front wall as well. Those boxes are not trash cans. I think we have to clean them out today. Those boxes are not trash cans. They're boxes that are waiting for your donation supplies. Okay, your Zakatul Fitr, you're going to give, inshallah, that is a wajib, that is a mandatory act you have to do. This is something you can do out of the goodness of your heart. And this is something that's going to go to families, Muslim families that have moved to the state of Georgia as refugees. They come from Afghanistan, they come from Burma, they come from many other places in the Muslim world. But they are our brothers and sisters in Islam. They have relocated to this part of the world. And alhamdulillah, we have a few organizations that are there dedicated to make sure they are there to receive the Muslim people as they come in. I have seen this with my very own eyes when I was in college here in the United States. When I was in college, there was a man who would come at every the opening meeting for the foreign students when they would come to the University of South Alabama. And there was one man who would wait. He would wait right there, and all the new students that would come, particularly from India, Pakistan, from these parts of the world, and he would wait for them, and he would acknowledge them, welcome them, and he even spoke to them in Urdu. He spoke to them in their language. This was a white man, white Christian man, and he spoke to them in their language. And then he invited them, come, to our place. We can help you get furniture. We can help you get accommodations. We'll take care of you. We'll show you what you need to know for the university. I was elected the MSA president for the year that I was there. I'm just kind of bragging now, I think. But I went there. One of the first things somebody said, there's a guy who comes and he just basically takes all the Muslim students and he's taking them somewhere, giving them things, and then they come later on complaining that now he's giving them a Bible and this or that. So he was preaching to them, missionary style and so on and so forth, kind of pressuring them even at some point. So remember we went there, I stood there, we welcomed all the Muslim students, we were talking to them. He came up to me thinking I was a foreign student as well. At the time, I had a much larger beard. And he came and he starts talking to me in Urdu, and for those of you that understand Urdu, he was like, imagine just, a completely American white-looking man coming up to you and fluently in your language, telling you to come join him for barakas and your staple foods. And so I told him, I said, we're the MSA, we're here for the Muslim students, and his face completely changed. His face completely changed. The reality is, when people come, there are always people that are going to greet them, that are going to serve them, that are going to do good things for them. Unfortunately, there are people that have an agenda. There are people that have an agenda. And they're waiting. They're waiting. There was a refugee family in the city of Atlanta. There was one of these, and again, alhamdulillah, most of your churches are not like this in our area, but there was a church that was hosting a refugee family from Iraq, I think it was. They were hosting the family. They made them attend church services if they wanted to continue getting the support that they were getting. They had to come to the church service. They held a presentation on Islam. They had a former Muslim. They had their pastor at the church, whoever it was, and they did this presentation of Islam. Some of our community members went and attended. Kara, Georgia went and attended. And they made sure that they stood up and said something when, obviously Islamophobic things were said. But they made that family attend that gathering that's exposing Islam and all these things and so on and so forth. Alhamdulillah, we have organizations that are here that receive Muslim families. But if the Muslim families that are coming do not receive their support from their brothers and sisters, they're going to go to people that are going to give them food, to people that are going to give them the hygiene kits, the people that are going to take care of them, to the people that are going to furnish their house. So this is really, really important. We go through Ramadan, we stay away from food and drink, we understand what it's like to not have these things for a little bit of time. I want to read to you some of the things that are on this list that we're asking you to give. And just ponder for a second what it would be like if you had to go 1 month without any of these items. Imagine that you had to fast from these items, for 1 month even, in your life. Simple things like paper towels, sponges, disinfectant wipes, toilet bowl cleaner, dishwashing liquid, right? Body lotion, bar soap, facial tissues, toothbrush, toothpaste, mouthwash, shampoo, or conditioner. These are not major things. But if somebody doesn't have these things, they don't feel like they have the dignity to be able to go and even present themselves in front of their own families. So there's a list that will be on this wall. And our community and other Muslim communities as well are bringing these donations in. And this is what we want to do. We want to fill these boxes and then more boxes and more boxes with these donations. We have 1 week. They gave me this last week. I wanted to wait until today. Instead of just posting the flyer, I wanted to make sure I spoke to you all about it as well, inshallah. But one of our service projects is to make sure we collect these items. There's two things. There's food and non-perishables, and then non-foods and hygienes. And they've told us that the food items are not that important. It's the hygiene and non-perishable items that people need most. They can get food stamps, people give lots of food. Alhamdulillah, we'll give zakat al-fitr. The food will be, inshallah, taken care of. But the non-perishable items, the non-foods, the hygiene items, the items that make you clean, that make your house clean, that make your place a place of dignity where you can invite people and serve them and host them and have a family and a human life. These are items that are very, very important for our brothers and sisters who are escaping and coming from dangerous situations, and now they're here. And if we don't welcome them as Muslim communities, then we haven't learned what it means to fast. If we don't understand what it means to give up, we haven't understood what that means. And so inshallah, the list will be on the wall. The boxes, not garbage cans. The boxes will be by the wall. We'll put labels on them as well. So bring your supplies. You come every day for Taraweeh. Take 1 day, go look at the list, take a picture. We'll share it in the WhatsApp group. And go get a few things. And I always tell people, get them like you're getting them for your own family. Don't shop in the aisle where you would not. Even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, don't give people things that you yourself wouldn't accept unless you had to close your eyes and out of desperation take it. So these are people, these are our brothers and sisters. Get them the things you get for your family. And you don't have to stockpile. We're all going to collect. We're going to have multiple masajid collect these items. The more we collect, alhamdulillah, the longer lasting it will be for the families. Gives them an ease on their financial situation so they can save up, they can do other things, and it gives them a nice little break so they can get a good head start for their new life here with us in our community. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to really help us understand the meaning of fasting beyond just the food and drink. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to make sure that we participate in these efforts. We'll also have the Fitra drive on the 15th. We'll need a few volunteers to join Brother Rizwan for that. They're going to go purchase the actual food supplies and then go to Clarkson and deliver them. And then we'll need about 20 volunteers on Saturday as well to come to ECIC, where we're going to take our supplies over there and then we're going to assemble them, put them in boxes, do all the work for these families, inshallah ta'ala. and then inshallah they will be delivered to these families. But this is very, very important. Very important that we understand that Ramadan is teaching us to sacrifice, teaching us to understand what it feels like to not have something, and every now and then we need to put ourselves in that situation. When the earthquake happened, I said the same thing. Go and shop for these clothes as if you're buying clothes for every member of your family. And so when you go and get these items, get them like you're getting them to feed your own family, to clean your own family, to clean your own house. And it'll help you understand how important these things are. These things, you go day by day without ever worrying about these items. But imagine if you didn't have them for a month. What your situation was. How embarrassed would you be to even invite somebody to your house? So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to open our hearts, to give us this compassion, to understand that there are many, many, many of our... Georgia accepts a lot of refugees. There are a lot of people that have come into our communities that have escaped dangerous situations. There are Muslim brothers and sisters. They are our responsibility. And this is something that we will be asked about on the Day of Judgment. Why did we let them go into the hands of other people? Why didn't you take care of your own? So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be aware of these initiatives, to take advantage of these initiatives, and to participate wholeheartedly, and to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept, and to forgive our sins, and to pardon, and to never ever allow us to be in that situation. And when we take care of them, you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in times of ease, Allah will remember you in times of difficulty. And you also do this out of that gratitude. Jazakumullah khair. We'll set all this up for you guys inshallah, so from tomorrow bring these supplies in if you can, and then inshallah we'll send all the information on the WhatsApp group. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.